$15 million. One frozen valley in the Yukon. 40 feet of hard ground standing between a team and 5,000 ounces of gold. The season opens with bad luck. Bucket teeth snap, hoses burst, the wash plant goes quiet, and cash burns by the minute. But the ground has a habit of testing people before it pays them. This story tracks the whole ride. A custom-built plant, a rare lightning-shaped nugget, a giant gold-veined boulder, and the twist that slices value in a single second. In the Klondike, winds hit hard and setbacks hit harder. Now imagine the clock always running. Every shutdown drains fuel, wages, and daylight. Winter moves closer. The pay sits deep under permafrost that eats time and breaks gear. A regular wash plant can't carry a season like this, so a new build rolls in. Bigger, tougher, tuned for cold ground. It lands a strong first cleanup, then reminds everyone that no machine is magic. A loose wire, a split hose, more minutes lost. The season becomes a race to keep that plant humming long enough to turn yards of frozen dirt into steady ounces. Then the ground speaks louder. A dendritic nugget, sharp, branching, lightning in gold, hits the table at 41.8 ounces. Morale lifts, maps look smarter, and the channel finally feels right. Not long after, a problem turns into a promise. A boulder in the cut flashes yellow veins. Split it open, and a heavy core appears, around 100 ounces in one find. Celebration meets reality when the piece fractures, and the extra collector value disappears in a heartbeat. The weight stays, the premium doesn't. This is the season. Told straight, deep pay, constant repairs. A custom plant finding its rhythm, a rare showpiece, a massive boulder prize, and a hard reminder that the Klondike gives and takes on the same day. If the plant runs, the number climbs. If it stalls, the valley keeps its secrets. Mining plans look neat on paper, but the ground decides the pace. From the first days at Dominion Creek, iron pushes back. The bucket on a large excavator loses its teeth and stops a dig. A hydraulic hose fails and sprays hot oil into the mud. A separate line clogs, and the wash plant goes silent. Silence is the worst sound in gold mining. No flow means no recovery, while fuel and payroll keep running. Each hour of downtime carries a cost you can feel across the claim. Morale moves with ounces. One cleanup shows a healthy tray and spirits rise. The next cleanup comes up thin and people grow quiet. The questions are practical. Is this the right channel? Is the old river actually here? Are the drill holes pointing to the best cut? Winter creeps closer and the permafrost stays hard. The goal, 5,000 ounces, still reads like a clean number, but the route to it grows messy. Pushing faster is not a fix. Speed breaks more parts and steals more hours. The season needs leverage, not hurry. Leverage looks like smarter recovery, stronger uptime, tighter water control, and fewer breakdowns. That means rethinking the main machine at the center of it all, the plant that washes the dirt and holds the gold back. So the focus shifts. The crew keeps at the daily grind. Dig, haul, feed, clean out. But the bigger question rises above the noise. Can a different plant change the math? If the answer is yes, the season turns. If the answer is no, the clock wins. The existing wash plant, known as Big Red, has a long history. It has handled tough ground and delivered results. Dominion Creek is a different scale. It needs more yards per hour and better capture of fine gold while the ground stays frozen around the edges. The search for ideas reaches far beyond the Klondike. In New Zealand, there are advanced designs and creative solutions. One setup floats on a pond and vacuums pay from below, then runs it through onboard screens and sluices. It is efficient in the right place, but Dominion is not a calm pond. It is a hilly claim with rough terrain and constant movement. The answer is clear. The best plant for this ground may not exist off the shelf. Building a new plant becomes the plan. The goals are simple to say and hard to achieve. Increase volume without losing the small flakes that add up over time. Keep water pressure high enough to break clay, but not so high that it pushes fines off the deck. Improve classification so the plant sorts material cleanly before it hits recovery mats. Use strong, cold-ready parts so the machine keeps running when temperatures drop. Design choices stack on each other. Larger screens change feed behavior. Extra water changes how gold rides over riffles. A stronger feeder can starve the deck if control is sloppy. A better discharge can still fail if vibration loosens fasteners. Every gain has a trade-off. The build gets a name, Roxanne, and it takes months of welding, fitting, painting, and testing to bring it to life. The risk is clear. A custom plant adds cost and adds a learning curve. The reward, if it works, is steady uptime and better recovery, which is the only way to close the distance to a goal as big as 5,000 ounces. Roxanne reaches the cut bright blue and freshly tuned. The first run delivers a strong result, over 56 ounces. For a moment, the claim sounds different. Engines hum, voices lift. The season seems to tilt toward the target. Then the learning curve arrives in small ways. A single wire loosens and halts production. A water hose splits and turns the deck into a cold spray. These are not shocking events. They are normal teething problems that every new plant brings. Machines have a rhythm. They like a certain feed rate and water profile. They settle down at particular settings, and they act up when those settings drift. Early days with Roxanne become a list of adjustments, secure connections, reroute a line to cut vibration, match feed to water. Watch how fines behave on the mats. Keep checking the bolts that move a little each shift. The measure of success is not one cleanup. The real measure is uptime across many days. Uptime builds schedules, budgets, and confidence. With long stretches of steady running, cleanouts become predictable. Predictable cleanouts turn into ounces that stack. A single big win headline looks good for a day. A reliable plant changes the season. The crew keeps feeding pay and keeps tuning Roxanne. The goal is simple: reduce surprise stops and capture more fine gold. To prove that this cut is the right cut, there needs to be a clear sign from the ground. That sign arrives not as a mountain of fines, but as a single piece that draws all eyes at once. During excavation, an unusual object comes out of the pay. It is not round and smooth like many nuggets. It branches in thin arms, almost like a tiny tree or a lightning shape. Cleaned and weighed, it comes in at 41.8 ounces. The structure is dendritic. Collectors value shapes like this because they are rare and visually striking. On a mine site, a piece like this does two jobs. It lifts morale and it confirms geology. It says the system in this channel had the right chemistry and space to form unusual gold. That often lines up with rich pockets around it and a fair amount of fine gold hiding in the same layer. There is also a simple market fact. Unique nuggets can bring more than melt value. Buyers who collect rare shapes pay a premium because they are not just buying metal. They are buying the form and the story. The crew gives it a nickname, the electrifying nugget, and the mood shifts. People who were quiet now stand a bit taller. The long days feel lighter. The old river channel looks more certain on the map. One unusual nugget does not finish a season, but it changes belief. It supports the drill data and the cut line. It tells the crew the claim is speaking clearly. The response is to keep the plant running, keep working the productive layer, and aim to turn a single dramatic find into a steady rise in ounces. The ground answers that plan with something even louder and more complicated. A large boulder sits in the pay and slows the operation. Big rocks in a cut are normal, but they cost time, and time is the most expensive item in mining. This boulder looks different. Thin yellow lines cross its face in several places. Those lines are veins of gold. The plan changes. Instead of shoving it aside, the crew opens it carefully, trying to protect what might be inside. When the boulder splits, there is a single gold mass at the center. It weighs about 100 ounces. A find like this can define a year. The camp reacts as any camp would. The air turns bright. Calculations start. Schedules bend around the moment. Then the season delivers a quick reminder about how the Klondike works. Stress sits inside rock, and it sits inside gold, trapped in rock. When the mass comes free, the piece fractures into several large chunks. The gold is still there. The weight still counts. The special premium that comes with a single intact showpiece falls away. In 1 second, the top line number changes. The message is the same one this ground has delivered for a long time. The Klondike often gives with one hand and takes with the other. That is not a failure. It is the nature of the work. Operationally, the news is still positive. The boulder proves that this section of the channel holds rich material. It points the excavation toward similar ground, confirms the cut, and strengthens the case for pushing harder while conditions allow. The season moves forward with two truths at once: a major weight gain and a lost collector premium. Both matter. Both shape the plan for the next weeks. When a mining show reaches a large audience, discussions grow quickly. Some viewers notice dramatic timing. A key breakdown lands close to a storm. A tense moment happens before a cleanup. This raises questions about pacing and editing. Others bring up stronger claims that float around mining history, like the idea of adding gold to a cleanup to create a better result. There is no proof offered here for any such claim. These conversations are part of the audience reaction to high-pressure seasons. There are also clear, documented moments across different crews and years that show real real-world stakes. One team travels to a tropical region and brings home very little gold after a hard push. Another team faces fines after an on-site stunt crosses environmental rules. Business disputes appear between people who once worked closely. Personal rumors spread around familiar faces, as often happens with public figures. Many of those are denied or remain unproven. The safe ground in a neutral retelling is simple. Point to the work, the machines, the geology, and the ounces. For this season at Dominion Creek, the key points are direct. The custom plant arrives and needs tuning, which is normal. Uptime becomes the main goal because uptime builds ounces. The 41.8-ounce dendritic nugget confirms a productive channel and brings collector value. The 100-ounce find at the center of a boulder confirms rich ground and shifts the season's math. Even after the fracture removes a single-piece premium, the target remains large. The plan remains steady. The tools grow more reliable. The cut stays aligned with the old river path that the drill holes and maps suggested from the start. In the end, the numbers come from hours run, yards processed, and finds captured. Discussions and theories may continue outside the claim line, but the plant does not respond to those. It responds to maintenance, feed rate, water, and the layer chosen for excavation. That is where the outcome lives. This season leaves clear lessons that apply beyond one claim. First, big goals are easy to say and hard to live through. 5,000 ounces is a single figure. Reaching it takes weeks of quiet fixes, cleanouts, parts runs, and cold shifts. Second, speed without structure makes seasons shorter, not better. The ground punishes rushing. The right kind of leverage, a plant built for the terrain, water set correctly, strong classification, gives back hours that used to disappear into breakdowns. Third, proof matters more than feelings. The electrifying nugget is proof. The boulder with a 100-ounce core is proof. Even with the fracture that removes a collector premium, the weight remains and the geology speaks clearly. The channel is right and worth the effort. Fourth, the Klondike balances its gifts. A day can bring a headline and a deduction in the same breath. Accepting both is part of lasting in this field. There is also a people lesson that runs under every machine. Plants move dirt, but crews carry seasons. A new build always needs hands that learn its rhythm. A frozen cut needs patience to thaw and lift in the right order. A claim needs steady choices when a rare find breaks and the plan needs to adjust. By the final stretch, the site holds more than gold. It holds a tuned process, a plant set to the ground, a cut line that follows the productive channel, and a team trained by real problems instead of perfect scenarios. That is where this story lands. Not on a single dramatic moment, but on a system that works better than it did at the start. The ground will keep taxing mistakes. Weather will keep narrowing the window each season, but steady runtime and confirmed geology will keep pushing the totals upward. If clear, neutral stories like this are useful, straight facts, real stakes, and simple language, subscribe to Gold Era 2.0 so you don't miss the next deep dive. More episodes will cover new cuts, new builds, and the lessons the Yukon keeps teaching. Subscribe now so the next big moment arrives in your feed the day it happens.